Nothing can snatch you out of His hands. That sickness cannot take you before your time. We may not always understand it or like it, but you can rest assured God has the final say. He planned all of your days before you were born, and He's promised to fulfill the number of your days. Something has happened that we can't explain. You thought you had reached your limits, suddenly you're promoted. The company wants you to run the department. You thought you'd always struggle with the illness, the addiction. Get ready for a sudden change. Forces of darkness are being broken. Any area where you're not living in victory is not permanent, it's temporary. God has the final say. My brother-in-law, Don, graduated from Texas A&M University. He's a huge Aggie football fan. Last year, he was watching a big game on television with one of their main rivals. The score was going back and forth. Came down to the final possession. The Aggies had the ball. Few seconds left to go. They needed to score in order to tie the game, but the Aggie quarterback threw an interception. The other team got the ball. Looked like the game was over. They poured Gatorade on the coach. The team members came on the field celebrating. The opposing fans were going wild. Don was so frustrated, he not only turned the television off, he deleted the recording from his DVR. He didn't even want that game in his files. Half an hour later, a friend texted him saying, "Wow, this game is unbelievable." He thought the friend had recorded it and was watching it late. He checked Twitter and saw the other comments. Come to find out, before the Aggie quarterback threw the interception, his knee touched the ground, so the play was dead. The referees reviewed it and gave the ball back to the Aggies. They went on to score and tie the game. The game went into overtime. First overtime still tied. Second tied. Third, fourth. In the seventh overtime, the Aggies won the game. It was one of the greatest games in college football history. But sometimes we do like Don. We turn the game off too soon. We think we'll never get well. We'll never meet the right person. We'll never accomplish a dream. We tried, it didn't work out. Feels like the opposing team has won. They're celebrating. They poured Gatorade on the coach. Can I tell you, it's not over until God says it's over. You better go back and look again. Your story doesn't end in defeat. It ends in victory. As long as you're breathing, the game is still going. Yes, there will be times it looks like it's too late, it's impossible. God has ways you've never thought of. Get your passion back. Start believing again. The game is still on. This is what happened 2,000 years ago. Satan and all the forces of darkness were celebrating. They already shot the confetti, poured the Gatorade, and started their victory party. They finally defeated Jesus, nailed Him to a cross. What they didn't realize was Jesus prophesied not only His death, but His resurrection. They got the first part of the information, but they didn't get the final word. Jesus said, destroy this temple, and in 3 days, God will raise it up. Jesus asked to borrow Joseph's tomb. He was saying, I don't need to buy it. I'm only going to be there 3 days. Satan had selective hearing. While they were partying, having their celebration, Jesus came walking in, took away the keys of death and hell, said, I am He that lives. I was dead, but I'm alive forevermore. Now, the enemy may be celebrating over you, thinking that you're done, you've seen your best days, you'll always be lonely, struggling, addicted, mediocre. You need to let him know you didn't hear the last word. I may be down, but I will arise. I may be facing this illness, but healing is coming. This setback in my finances is not permanent. Abundance is in my future. The final word says your latter days will be better than your former days. Now get in agreement with God. Go back to those places where you quit believing and roll away the tomb. Who told you it was over? That wasn't the final word. Like with Lazarus, it may look dead, but I believe and declare it's about to come back to life. There's a sudden change coming. Sudden healing, sudden promotion, sudden opportunity, what you thought was permanent is about to suddenly change in your favor. In Jesus' name.